Hi, it's Leslie Zemeckis back with another Write for Success. I just wanted to say that the whole reason I started this weekly series is not just for writers, but also for readers and all storytellers. I wanted to show their favorite storytellers in a different light. We all have a story to share. So this week's guest is a New York Times best-selling novelist. I have read all of her books. She is a master storyteller. Personally, she has a very interesting story. Her and her sister were abandoned by her parents, and for the next 14 years, she spent it in and out of foster care. After a series of day jobs, she pursued writing, and aren't we glad? She is a huge success, a lovely lady. Her latest book is Love and Ruin, about journalist Martha Gellhorn, who married Hemingway. I'm posting the trailer to her next book, When the Stars Go Dark, at the end of her tips. I can't wait to read it. So here's Paula McLain and her writing tips. See you next week for another Write for Success, and keep gathering those stories.
I'm Paula McLain, and I'm delighted to be part of Leslie's series on authors offering 3 writing tips. So here we go. Number 1, don't spend a lot of time wishing you were a different kind of writer than you actually are, or wondering if you would be more efficient or productive or more successful if you had different or better writing habits than you actually do. I spent years struggling with one of my own worst habits, which is that I seem to need to write and rewrite and rewrite the beginning of a novel before I can push through and come to trust the voice and the world. And it's wildly inefficient and so frustrating, and yet it's my process. It's how I write a book. I have friends who write meticulously on note cards, others who use storyboards, and still others who write on yellow legal pads in the bathtub. And that's them, and I'm me, and you're you. You're an original, and your habits, like your gifts, have come to you honestly, and why not make use of them and find a way to do your work? Okay. Number 2, as much as possible, try to ignore the marketplace and write instead what brings you alive, what fascinates and interests you and inspires you, without thinking about how to appeal to an audience. Because here's the thing, nobody knows what will sell. They only know what already has. And if you spend all your time chasing the marketplace, by the time you get there, they will have already moved on to something else. So instead, I don't know, take your pulse, follow your own ideas, and as much as possible, I guess, write the story only you can write and that only you can tell, and give it everything you have and see what happens next. Okay. Number 3, nurture yourself. And by that I mean find a way to get on and stay on your own side instead of convincing somebody else that they should pay attention to you or read your work. I mean, writer and innovator and tech wizard Seth Godin often speaks about how we seem to be more and more desperate for attention, approval, reassurance, as if we're still stuck on the playground in 7th grade waiting to be picked. We are not there, and there isn't some authority that you need to appeal to greenlight your project. The person that you need to convince is yourself. There is no higher power than your own creativity, your mind, and you are the person that you need to convince. And so that's it. Stop waiting to be picked. Pick yourself. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks to Leslie for inviting me, and happy writing.